Hi everybody, welcome to week 4. I want to first thank those of you who jump in on Saturday and kind of go through the material and then send me questions either as emails or on the question and answer board. Those are very helpful. I get those on Monday morning when I get into my office and I review those and try to answer you, but that also gives me some guidance on what to include in this video. Maybe to hit the areas that are the most troublesome or the most confusing to everyone. So thank you to those early adopters of each lesson. I've thought about posting on Saturday, but I think Monday's good, so I can kind of see what those questions are. So I hope this is helpful as we jump in. So this week, there's really two main things you're doing. First, you're learning about presentations, how to use PowerPoints, kind of good and bad things there, and then doing your very first practice of a little mini speech. Those are the two main things you're going to focus on this week. So we'll jump right in here. And the first activity you're doing is your intro and your conclusion. So there were some great questions asked about this. So this should be around 2 minutes long. About a minute for your introduction, about a minute for your conclusion. So this isn't a long one, and it's mostly made for practice. So last week you came up with a basic outline. Someone asked if you should read the outline. The answer is no. An outline is just that. It's an outline. It's a summary of points, but it's not a script. It should never be a script. And when you give a speech, you should never read a script. Okay, so you should never be looking at a screen reading word for word. That's not a speech. Have a little note card, perhaps, with some main points that you can look at once in a while, but you should be looking at the camera, talking in a natural way like you're talking to a group of friends. So I just want to clarify, do not read a script. Use your outline as a guide, but not as a script. So, yeah, you'll give that. You'll load it onto YouTube, and this is really for practice. So the way I'm going to handle this one is, so you still have to post by Wednesday. Once again, anything posted after Wednesday will receive a 0 on the assignment because your group members have to have enough time to review. And to be fair to them, you have to have it by Wednesday night. So maybe even do it a little earlier in case there's any technical problems, just so you have time, you're not panicked that last little bit. So you use a webcam, record it, and then make sure it's posted by Wednesday night. On this one, I'm going to let your classmates give you the feedback. For me, grading-wise, it'll just be a pass-fail. The reason I do that is because next week you're giving an entire version of your informative speech, a full-length 7 to 10 minute speech, and that one I'll grade and I'll give you very specific feedback, including your intro and conclusion. So rather than do that twice, and I wouldn't be able to get to your feedback in time before you film next week's anyways, so this will be a chance for you to practice the filming, get some feedback from your classmates that you can adopt. You'll get the credit if you post on time and it meets their requirements. And then next week, I'll have more time to actually dive into your full speech and give you the full feedback. So don't worry, I will give you the feedback that you need on your intro conclusion. I'm just going to do it on next week's version. So I hope that helps a little bit there. So just make sure it's there. It's posted on time. And then afterwards, make sure you're going into your speaking group discussion board. There's 2 discussion boards, a speaking and a working group. The speaking one, make sure you go in after Wednesday and do everything that's there. And you're only required to give feedback on the speeches posted on time. So, just so you know, that's a question that comes up once in a while also. So you'll post that. The other main assignment this week is about good and bad presentation skills. And this one trips people up all the time. So please read these instructions very carefully. If I designed the course, I'd probably do this a little different, but I don't. So I'll just try to guide you through it as much as I can. So this first one, the bad PowerPoint. What you're demonstrating here and talking about are bad PowerPoint tips, if you can call them tips. Things that people do on PowerPoints that are bad. Google this. There's tons of ideas out there. But you build a PowerPoint that both says and demonstrates the bad things. If that makes sense. The second PowerPoint you create is not about good PowerPoint. Now you're doing what are good speech tips. So you'll still demonstrate the good use of a PowerPoint, but your subject material is not about PowerPoint, it's about giving a good speech. I know that's a little confusing. I'm sorry it's set up that way. Just read these instructions carefully and you'll be fine. Let me know if you have any questions on that as you go. Do check these out. There's some good examples because I know this can sound a little confusing initially. So if you can just go through and make sure you understand that. Ask me questions early on before things are due and I'm more than happy to help you on that. So once you do that, you'll post that to your working group on that. Just make sure you get it posted, once again, on time. Anything after will get a 0, and then just your participation quiz. So, not as much this week. I know last week had a lot of little things. These are just 2 little bit bigger things. And then next week is when we dive into your first full informative speech, first draft of it. So anyways, please let me know however I can help you, support you in this. And I'm really excited as we get going into the real kind of meat of the course.